Hello everyone, Shamansin here, and today I am reviewing SOPHOS UTM 9, which is a home-based UTM. I'm sorry, I am reviewing the home-based version of the SOPHOS UTM 9. It's very much like Untangle, but it separates itself by in many ways. And as you know, I am an Untangle fan. But I have since started using Sophos as my home UTM, and there are a lot of reasons for it. I still follow Untangle's work, still great for their paid for version, but they have started to very limit the capabilities for the free version. So I heard about, but never really installed or played around with Sophos' UTM. I know that since they had one, or I think they bought it from a company called Astro that used to be Astro. Um, Now I installed this UTM on the same box that my Untangle UTM was on. Same spec, same hardware. This The approach that Sophos uses versus Untangle is this. Sophos gives you all of the plugins, all of the features that even the business version and the paid for version and the enterprise version has. But you can only use 50 different IP addresses, like 50 IPs on your LAN, which is more than enough for, you know, even the above average user, because chances are you don't have 50 devices in your home. Even if you have a virtual lab, you're not running 30, 40 servers at any given time. You may spin them up once in a while, but that's about it. Let's explore the feature set and why I like this over Untangle. So the very first one is the GUI is very nice. I saw some screenshots and I thought, ooh, I didn't like it at first, versus the chic kind of niceness of Untangle. But once I started looking at it, I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. Once the one big difference installing Untangle versus Sophos. You install Untangle, you go and install it. You say, yeah, I want routed mode. You say what your LAN IP address is going to be, what your WAN, how you're going to connect to the internet, and away you go. You enable a couple features or a couple plugins, and that's it. Sophos' approach, I love how their approach to the initial installation goes. Their approach is everything is restricted completely. You actually got to enable the ability for the firewall to pass HTTP traffic, pass DNS traffic, stuff like that. So some people may argue, if you're not so security conscious and you want something that just protects you, oh man, I got to go through all that. Remember that you want to secure your network. So if I got to spend an extra hour making sure everything is secure, that's great. I like that ability, instead of having everything open and then I got to start closing doors. So the other thing is that it goes another step further. When you do enable HTTP traffic and then you have web protection enabled, for instance. Okay, so web protection is like URL filtering and stuff like that, which I'll touch on in a minute. When you have that enabled and you want to go and download an exe file or a com file or zip or something like that, it'll automatically be blocked. You actually have to go in and allow those file extensions to be downloaded. I like that. For instance, EXEs, you may not want anyone in your home environment. And then again, remember something, that this UTM, they coded it once, so all that's different is the licensing. So you know for a home UTM, you might be like, well, I might want to download an exe, download an app or something that I want to use. But in a business environment, which this product, and I kind of see the thinking that they're not going to code 5 or 6 different versions. It's just one version, one way of doing things, and then just a different license file. So for all this UTM knows, it's in a business, because this is a business approach to security. You build security in the network, not go in and patch holes and then figure out how you're going to restrict. You're going to build it in right from the ground up. Well, I wish most companies did that, but anyways, that's what you're supposed to do. And so I really like that. I really like that approach. Now, this is the one thing that won me over. The one thing that won me over is that when you go to web protection, and I read up on this and I was like, okay, that must be for the business version, but it's even for the free version. You go over to HTTPS, there's a tab, and they have an option for Decrypt and Scan, which is free. Now that is a huge biggie reason why I jumped from Untangle to SOPHOS. If you run Untangle, the one thing about Untangle, even though I love that firewall so much, is that the antivirus and anti-spyware scanning and stuff like that does not decrypt HTTPS traffic. There is an option that you have to pay for Untangle to do that, and they have the ability, but they don't offer it for free. SOPHOS offers it for free. And again, going back to their approach, everything on the home version is for free. So there isn't no light this, limited that, trial that. It's just all free. So when you hit Decrypt and Scan, okay, I'll show you a brief demo of why this is important. Okay, so when you go to eicard.org, and I've showed you this site before and a lot of my other videos, here's a test. So I have web filtering enabled, and because I have web filtering enabled, antivirus and anti-spyware are enabled. Okay. When I download a file, say eicard.com zip, I get a block. Okay. Say, it's recognized that as a virus. Okay. So the item you have requested is infected by a virus. It will not be downloaded. Okay. That will be blocked by Untangle as well. What won't be blocked is if I click HTTPS. That's a problem. That's the same virus, or in this case a virus test file, just going through HTTPS. So what we can do here for web protection, and then when you go over to the web filtering HTTPS, you have an option for Decrypt and Scan. So you hit Decrypt and Scan, and I'll tell you the downfalls of this in a minute. So if you hit Decrypt and Scan, the first thing you do is go to a Google site. Okay. The reason why you want to go to Google is that it uses HTTPS, and if you get an HTTPS warning message saying that the site is not, it'll say that the connection is not secure, or cannot establish a secure connection. You have to go over to you have to go over to filter options, HTTPS CAs, and then download this certificate. And what this does is that it performs a man-in-the-middle attack. And I know that sounds bad, especially from all my other videos and what I've taught you in the past, but in this case, it's a good thing. What happens here is that the request goes from the firewall, goes to the whoever it's going out to, and this has a certificate authority of its own. So as the traffic comes in, it gets decrypted at the firewall. Firewall scans and then re-encrypts the traffic and sends it back to the browser. That way it can see what's going on. Okay, so then however you want to do it, you can have a password protected certificate or a PEM, download that and import it into your browser, refresh, and Google should work. Okay, now if I go over to HTTPS for that same zip file, boom, blocked. That one feature is leaps and bounds over the offering that that Untangle has. Now I'll tell you why I'm turning it off on my own network, because I just told you how great this is, but I'm turning it off. Essentially, is that I'm still in the process of moving over, and we're on a test machine here, and as I showed you, we have to download that certificate to every single computer, phone, tablet, anything that uses the web, and I haven't done that yet. So if I have that on, everyone in my home that's using my internet is going to get HTTPS certificate warnings, and then they're all going to be up in arms because the internet will most likely be shut down. You can't use Facebook, Google. I mean, that's the internet right there, right? Well, I'm joking, but anyways, now, so once I have all the certificates installed on all the machines in my home, then that option will be turned on, and away you go. Now, if you're running servers at home, let's say you're running a public web server or something like that, you have options here that are not available. In Untangle. There's a web application firewall, which is amazing for it to be in like a free UTM, to have things like a WAF built into it. That's amazing. Now we can have on the web, on the WAF stuff, anti-SQL injections and stuff like that. Pair that with the IPS. If we go over to the intrusion prevention attack patterns, if you go over to the attack patterns, you can enable IPS rules based on what servers you're running. Okay, now on my home, I don't have any public facing web servers. I have plenty internal servers, but nothing facing outside. So another great thing I love about this firewall, anti DDoS and ping flooding and stuff like that. You enable, you rate limit how much you want. That's great. Another feature that I really like, in Sophos, you can click Open Live Log on any service. So the firewall, web protection, anything, and you can see what's going on. So if you see a lot of drops and stuff like that, and you have a particular application or website or something not working, you can look. So if you suspect it's the firewall, for instance, you go over to Firewall, Open Live Log, and boom, I can see what's being dropped, stuff like that. Okay. So I plan on doing a lot of tutorials, like I did with Untangle for Sophos, because a lot of the configuration isn't so non-technical, like non-tech savvy. I should say it's not easy for non-tech savvy people to really configure this. Um, and I really want anyone who wants to set this up have the ability to. So watch out for those videos. Now, there's, of course, you can set up a VPN to your home. Almost all firewalls, UTMs, open source, paid for, have that. Even D-Link routers have that too. So that's a pretty standard feature. The logging and reporting, not as nice as Untangle. Not, we don't have the nice, layout and stuff like that. But I mean, for the stuff that I've gained, that you gain with Sophos, there's a give and take, right? The other features I haven't mentioned, so wireless protection. I haven't gone so much into it, but from what I gather, so it's a new. I'll just kind of say from here. So it's a new operation to simplify the operation of secure and reliable wireless networks. So you can have it acting as a wireless controller. So I guess you have a NIC or a wireless NIC that you put in, and you can go, kind of go from there. I haven't played around too much with it, so I don't know how it works and how good it works, but I'll get to it. Endpoint protection. Yes, this is one I wanted to talk about. This is cool. I mean, for a free piece of software, it's really amazing. Now, endpoint protection, you've heard me talk about it in a lot of my videos. We have all of this set up, all of these, our network is secure, right? No, we haven't protected our endpoints. At least that's the assumption at this point. So, with endpoint protection capabilities on our firewall or security appliance, what we can do is install agents, or known as agents, on all of our devices, and collect stats. Is the antivirus up to date? What software is installed? Stuff like that. And that, I mean, that's huge. That's a huge feature. I haven't implemented it yet, but I'm going to. So, for instance, when you turn it on, you get it yellow because it's not on completely. You'll go over to like deploy agent. So first you activate it. Just say okay, or activate endpoint protection, and you hit deploy agent. And what that does is you can send this to all your Windows computers and stuff like that in your network, and install it on all of them. And the agent is what helps get all the data we need. And then you can go to manage computers and all the other good stuff. Especially for antivirus, you can turn on whatever features you want, all that other stuff. Which I'm going to make a specific video on this, because this is a big concept at this time in the security industry. The whole endpoint protection, endpoint management, computer management, this is huge at this time. Especially with BYOB, you've heard me talk stuff like that about it. This is definitely something you should master, especially if you want to practice security in the field. And that's the other thing about this. With getting industry standard features, you can play around a lot more and really understand, like, all of these features that I've covered in this short video. these are something that you're going to see on real mid-range, high-end firewalls, and it's great to have a product, even if this, even if this isn't the best. Obviously, there is better, of course, but the feature set and learning what each one does and reading logs and learning how this works is amazing. And the fact that uh, you're learning this firewall, and the knowledge can be transferred from this to the business version to the enterprise version, and not much will be different. That goes for Untangle too. I mean, you download the trial and do that stuff, but that's what I like about open source, and the fact that you can download a free version and learn and stuff like that, because you can read a book, you can do all that, but when you really get to work on something and work on it for a month or two, you really get to know the internal workings of it all. So that's my overview of this firewall. I know I haven't covered everything, but if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions about any one of my videos, please leave them in the comment section below. I want to know your thoughts of what I've gone over. Maybe you have some comments of your own for this UTM, or what you think Untangle has over this UTM. And talk to you soon. Have a good day.